My wife of 8 years had an affair and shattered me. Now I'm left picking up the pieces, trying to heal and be the best dad I can to our son. I, 31M, am still rather devastated over all of this, even now. After turning in the final divorce decree, I was seated outside the courthouse last Wednesday. My cheating, lousy wife, 30F, dropped by my office so I could have her sign the final papers. My brother and I manage a store, so we were busy, but I had her come to the back to sign the last paperwork as I was working on some chores. She read it over. Then I saw she was at the last page, staring at it, then at me. Not only peering, she seemed to be begging and had a tiny welling of tears. It was quite frustrating. I advised her not to engage in this garbage and to either sign or not. She opened her lips, then closed them once again. Not to pull this when she's dating and hooking up with other people. I became enraged and instructed her to speak what she had to say. She has not expressed any want to mend our friendship. She signed the forms and left, head down. We ended up talking in her car for a second after I had to hunt her down to ask about our stimulus money. She inquired about our son. He's not biologically mine, but I have been there for him since he was 4. Though I try to interact with him every morning, I informed her he doesn't really talk to me anymore. She only nodded and looked dejected. I gently informed her that I was allowing her one chance to speak her truth. She simply stared at me, furious. I told her she never loved me, first of all. She stated it wasn't true, tears running down her face. I informed her if she loved me really, she wouldn't have considered cheating. Even when other ladies approached me, I had always been loyal. I always turned away, as I knew my wife wouldn't enjoy it. I advised her to get in touch with me when she had my money. I wish I had known she didn't love me from the beginning. It would have saved time, effort, and suffering. It is killing me. The hearing scheduled to finish it all is tomorrow. I'm recuperating, rediscovering delight in things I used to enjoy, and loving exercise more. Though I can't seem to find it in me to truly talk to women or try for a date, I'm looking better, getting attention from women, and that's wonderful. Still, my heart longs for her. My heart still loves her. I wish I could take it out and bury it permanently. Though I know I have to go through these emotions and welcome this new life, I'm having trouble. The end of this procedure is surely bringing all these emotions to the forefront. Comments. You did what you were supposed to. You will need time to put this behind you. Her crocodile tears sent her on losing a home base to Monkey Branch. The greatest disrespect is cheating, and it never comes from a place of love. You're better off. Time will help you move on. Thank you for your help. I am working on moving on. I have many, I just wish ideas to shove aside and let go. You adored someone she used to be. Today she is not that person. Though it is difficult, disconnecting takes time. If anything, I will use this time to heal and appreciate what I do today. It will make me a better person generally. You cannot simply switch off and on your emotions. Never give your morals or standards any concessions. Don't force yourself to start looking for another companion. Be selective and date when you're ready. Let alone offer my body to another woman. I am not looking to enter yet another relationship. The most I'm hurrying is trying to not feel anything for her. As you pointed out, it's a process. Sometimes, oh man, I do want to sacrifice my morals. I want to tell each parent of my son's soccer squad everything about the person she is and email blast all of them. I want to print flyers to plaster her preferred locations and publish it all over Instagram. But none of that is me. I know that person is not who I am. I'm just still hurting and really trying to mend. I greatly appreciate your nice comments and support. They really mean a lot. I understand that it seems so unjust and as if justice does not exist on our planet. Don't jump in the mud with the pigs. You'll get dirty too and be mistaken for a pig. My grandma often advised me never treat yourself less than that. While some individuals reject karma, indeed it is quite gradual but also meticulous. She will be revealed one day, or something will transpire to grant her the justice she so deserves. You only have to be loyal to yourself. Your children will also see it. They will know you as the one who did not devalue themselves. Just treat yourself politely. Update 1. Yesterday was that day. Here I am today, single and most certainly in shock. Other than having this massive pit in my gut, I'm not sure how I should feel. She understood the timing of the hearing, but I found a Zoom call to the court to be just so impersonal. Of course, I realize safety comes first. Still, it doesn't particularly feel real. It really hasn't sunk in for me. I mean, I can acquire a copy of the signed document and declare myself to be divorced. A couple of my buddies want to know whether I want to go celebrate. They want to be there for me. They are lovely about it. They are not being nasty or resentful. and that feels great. I simply have not known how to approach this. I should be feeling free, yet maybe I should be crying once more. Oddly enough, I simply want to hear my wife's voice. Unfortunately, I no longer have a wife, some stranger that sounds like her and wears her face. Though it's only a resigned kind of sensation, I can sense tears gathering. Here I am, simply me. Furthermore, my dog. I have very few friends, but they are the finest. I have a great and fantastic family, thus support is available. I merely feel empty, exhausted, and drained. What my next action should be is unknown. Tell my son that it has happened over the phone? Say F it all, and go to Italy to begin exploring sites? Go back to Vegas with my old buddies for a desert recharging trip? I truly want to be laying here in silence, staring at the ceiling. Naturally, though, life has to go on, and so should I. I appreciate all of your support and ideas, especially book recommendations. I'm eager to at least start, since I'm picking those up today. I never imagined myself in this place. Notes: the timing for Italy is horrible, but whenever it becomes sensible, that has my enthusiastic vote. Vegas is a temporary prospect with friend events instead of the still skeletal and dreary casino resort life. Mountains and the weather are just beautiful. I left McCarran yesterday straight out. My friend, I find myself in the same boat. This afternoon at 3 o'clock, I am signing paperwork. She departed and deserted our family on our 22nd wedding anniversary almost 2 years ago. I say every word you are using exactly. Simply said, I feel hollow and worn out by the struggle. Hang in there, friend. Better things are just waiting for us. One breath at a time, one stride in front of the other. We simply have to be patient and gentle to ourselves. Recall this, we deserve better. Damn, I sense your words. Suffering regards, apologies. Update 2. The last post I produced was seen above the last time I blogged. Right now, it's really upsetting me, as I'm still kind of disoriented inside. Like me, my ex-wife, crazy to type it out, was off to work. At the same junction, we both stopped. She was turning right to ride on the freeway I had just left off, while I was going to turn left under the overpass. Like metal butterflies ripping up my insides, my heart and stomach sprang with the same familiar, exhilarating, and lately terrible sensations. We made eye contact until the light changed, then each drove our separate directions, both literally and metaphorically. I could not think of a more appropriate comparison for the state of affairs. Still feeling longing, grief, rage, disappointment, nausea, and a rainbow of other depression-inducing emotions, here I am, typing out my pain. I wish I could be indifferent. For the love of God, I wish I could rip out, root and all, this deep-seated affection. F her and her stupidity. It justifies nothing, though not feeling is exactly what I want. I'm still in love with her. Her scent, her warmth, the sensation of her hair brushing against my face and mixing with my beard, the feel of her soft skin against my bare chest, the rhythm of her heart against my arms when I held her in the dark. These are the sweetest dreams I have of her recently. They have been most vivid. She left such an effect on me when it was so darn simple for her to demolish everything we had created together. Yes, I understand it as PTSD. Indeed, I understand the sensation might never go away. Indeed, I understand that processing trauma will take time. I am tired of processing, though, of feeling the hurt, of sobbing, of reminding myself that it is okay to not be okay. I miss feeling even-keeled. Every day seems like I'm standing on a platform precariously atop a damn barrel. Some days, it's all good. I got this. Balance can be kept. I've been doing it for 8 months. Therefore, I should be used to this. Other days, though, I feel as though the agony of betrayal never lets me find even a tiny respite. I trip off the platform since right now equilibrium is useless. We can rather clearly tell the kind of day this one is. Usually, it becomes worse before it improves. I despise platitudes. Fing platitudes. Update 3. Made the 3-week mark since the final post above. I watched our son's middle school soccer game yesterday and was so happy to see him. How much he has changed and how big he is. He's so darn tall. His voice is cracking, and it's weird not to have personally seen it. Feeling like I was being watched from the bleachers, I didn't see my ex-wife until practically half an hour in. I turned, and our gazes met squarely. Her parents were seated with her. They lost the game sadly, but the team rocked it still. I waited for the squad to pass over the bleachers as people filed off them. I nodded, using their first names, but her parents passed by as if I hadn't uttered a word. I laughed and let the throng pass. not over the phone or via text. It was great to hug my kid and chat with him personally when I waited for him at the team exit. The thrill of seeing each other once more permeated every moment. At last, my ex came up to tell our son loving words. Since I depend on her for those specifics, I asked her when the next game is scheduled. Our chat was clinical. We know we're not decent and most certainly aren't buddies. After instructing her not to sit next to me at the last game, I made that plain. Let's go, she tells our son, and he gives me a long embrace. I love him, I tell him. Though difficult, I do let go. I turn and go in the other way from my car, not looking at her or bidding farewell. The one I listened to and loved for almost a decade wants me to run over and grab her, kiss those lips, hug her body in my arms, and feel her warmth and heartbeat. The one I feel slightly betrayed by my heart because of. I have to aggressively control it. Not until I come home and sit in silence to reflect on everything will there be tears. Even then, though they are few, I'm still figuring out these emotions. I still experienced additional wonderful dreams of her until this morning. Once more, I feel as if I am fighting my own body and my own thoughts. I'm doing everything I can. I work out practically every day and eat clean, with perhaps 1 or 2 cheat meals a week. I have poured myself into the business with my brother and find it to be flourishing, to be very honest. We never had this many staff members. It's fantastic. I am studying about stocks and investing, reading more, and certifying myself for IT jobs. Most of all, Jack, my corgi, is my other little kid and always wants to play. Filling the emptiness is odd. It certainly seems like a vast, gaping void inside me. Being a father and a husband was great fun. As Hurricane Harvey approached Texas, we nearly decided to have another kid. In our house, we were safe, dry, and not at all impacted. Though by November, we knew she was pregnant. There were plenty of fun, crazy, and somewhat exotic events. Money, space, and our present circumstances finally led us both to agree that we should stop the pregnancy and not have another kid. I wonder if things would be different, whether we would be at this place now, and if she would have fed another person. This has started me thinking back. Yes, I know the what-if game is never a nice place to be, never a good thing to linger on. But lately, it's just been emerging more and more in my mind. Let alone the dreams, like I had last night, of my beautiful wife and what could have been our little girl or our second little boy. It makes me miss my son even more, and it irritates me that she would not let me adopt him. She said that I could only after all this garbage had transpired. I apologize for the protracted post. I simply found myself repeating and ranting last night in my head. It hasn't even been a year since she broke off our relationship. I know it's still early and quite fresh following the divorce. I suppose all I can say is that today I'm not feeling it. It's almost 10 a.m. I haven't gotten out of bed. That she still affects me and how I feel every time I see her bothers me. Update 4. Hey everyone. At last, I have developed an apathetic attitude towards her. Other than that, I'm feeling happier more consistently. I'm not really sure what to say right now. I'm working out on a schedule, cooking more, and experimenting. I have been picking up writing once more and presently work on a short story. To see the Phoenix Suns defeat the Nuggets, I flew to Denver. I'm about to head to Oregon to visit a cousin, do some hiking, and try tubing in a new place. Though my bond with my son is different, I got in touch. He seems really busy though. Man, this is what it feels like to have a full-on teenage son. I'm doing my best to be understanding. Lunch and meals here and there. I suppose I will grab what I can. Simply said, I miss being with him consistently. I now go on dates with someone. She manages her own companies, is just fantastic, independent, intelligent, strong, mature. We need to run slow here. She is aware of my circumstances, and both of us are cautious not to leap in too quickly. Still, it's amazing. Our interests are somewhat similar. We have easy communication, and our goals are rather apparent. Even now, when we are simply lounging about, it is just calm. I am attempting to keep myself from developing any negative habits or tendencies. Simply said, it is fantastic to feel good once more. She asked yesterday what will happen if and when another man gets involved with my son. To be honest, I'm not sure. If he doesn't reach out, then it's just me having to sit back and hope for the best for him. I will be there for him, is all I dare think or say. In this, I have no legal clout or rights. Fortunately, I have seen her face to face, and I truly don't feel anything for my ex. Though I'm trying to take it day by day and hope I keep recovering and finding happiness more and more, whatever that means. That my son and I can have a better relationship and that I not muck this up with this amazing woman. I appreciate your support, counsel, book recommendations, and encouragement all around. That was therefore fleeting. Tragically, the incredible woman was disturbed by my April divorce and feels that I'm not over my ex since I call our son our son. I just mentioned him in reference to co-parenting and the fact that I have to go through her for anything pertaining to him. I have a son. She's also saying she still has to recuperate from a breakup she went through 3 months ago with a guy she loved. I could see the healing, but I couldn't picture involving someone new with my son at this age. November is his 14th birthday, and it's things strange when others tell me what I feel and get it wrong. She also objects to being a stepmother. I never even brought up her young 4-year-old daughter. Once more, I am living that part of my life apart from this present one. Why is this troubling to me, though? In my past relationship, I did nothing illegal. I feel like I'm marked. It's held against me after being honest with each other and such. Just because I'm divorced and have a much older son who would most certainly never be part of the relationship feels quite unjust. If I tell people straight up about my circumstances, I'm accused of not being over my ex. I'm not being real about things if I hold that back and say nothing. Update 5. Some have wondered how this all started and how I got up where I am today. Hence, I attempted publishing this earlier as an explanation of what went down when things initially started. Though recent, this began in July of last year, far from all this. I am appreciative of all the guidance, encouragement, and kicks in the ass from those who have gone through it and are helping. All right, so far as things stand, July 2020 started as if everything was going downward. June turned out fantastic. Together with our son and his friend, we had taken a brief trip. We had fun together, and the intimacy was amazing. They hung out. July arrived, and we were having problems, spats over dumb, small things. She showed no desire and closeness. Her day would be of interest to me, but she exhibited no curiosity about me. Long bathroom stays and baths all the damn time. Yet she wanted to gripe about not spending time with us. July passed like this. August started to get more tense. She even tried to present me with lingerie and stated it would be for my birthday, like if everything was normal. My birthday arrives. She gets me several LPs, but nothing particularly noteworthy. I had a tough day at work. She did too, apparently, and we ended up cooking and hanging around together. I reason it's a work day, and it's whatever. She seems not truly present, but delivers intimacy. We had several major arguments in September, at last, one of which, she begged to have some alone time. Though this was suspicious, I became insane as I felt our marriage was falling apart. As correct as I was, taking the dogs, I headed to spend the evening with my brother and his family. I returned home early in the afternoon the following day. I never stopped her from hanging out with her friends. She had mentioned she wanted to go before I arrived. I arrived home at about 12 o'clock. At 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, she arrived home. Happy to see her, I told her when I saw her. She said the month was awful, and that week was especially so. She was unpleasant, snarky, straightforward nasty, not kissing me. I kept urging her to tell me what was going on. I wanted us to be fine. I sensed things were off. Now, a quite good friend, an acquaintance, expressed concern after seeing me at work. I told him I loved my wife very much. We had been married for 1.5 years at this point and had been together for 8.5 years, yet I had no idea what to do. He advised marriage therapy and advised reading the 5 love languages and another book I cannot remember right now. After reading the book right away, I knew I had been giving work too much top priority. Our company is owned by my brother and me. Since COVID, we have been overrun as business has been flourishing. I never stopped trying to love her or be close, both physically and in talks, though. Even then, she had vanished. Though I got home that same day, she was unwell. I looked after her. As she was getting dressed the next morning, I gently and affectionately requested whether we might talk before she left. Having read the book all night before, I told her everything I had discovered. Although I said I had been lazy, I loved her and advised us to visit marriage counseling to try to mend things, because we had our son and loved one another. She broke down crying and kept repeating I was going to hate her. Hence, anything I said must have set her off. She finally acknowledged that she had cheated on me last weekend when she was with her friends, after being urged to be straight up with me. Though I was stunned and totally blown away, I loved my son, marriage, and wife. Like a fool, I assured her everything was good. I could forgive her, but she had to come clean on everything. She then clammed up, no names, no information. Basically, she had been having an emotional affair until that day in September and had been chatting to the other man since July. How could I find her credible? I did not. I told her she had parroted our marriage and our vows. It was Thursday. She rejected and offered very little justification when I tried to have a conversation with her that evening. She said she had told the other guy she had confessed to me, but she never consented to discuss things. Friday comes around the same way. I'm dry heaving, haven't slept, feel eerie, furious, and damaged within. When Saturday finally arrived, my brother advised me to go home and figure out what was happening. After seeing the damage I was in, she got up, started working out, and I stayed a mess all the while. I phoned my father, who had been the cheater in his marriage, but my mother and he sorted things out. Their marriage has been wonderful for 38 years now. I asked him for his opinion. He said she understood exactly what she was doing. It's not a mistake. She has to decide. If she doesn't, that tells you all you need to know. Though a wreck, I got myself together. I made sure our son was looked after and tidied the house. I then descended to our apartment gym and instructed her to come see me after she finished. She showed up half an hour later, and I gently reminded her that she had to decide between our family and marriage or the other guy. All I got was, "I don't know," and she requested some time. I agreed on the stipulation that she not see or contact him. She agreed and headed for a 2-hour run. On an app, I could see her whereabouts. She returned at last, saw I had cleaned the place, and started to cry. What she had decided, I asked her once more. It was a profusion of "I don't know." She muttered, It's over," at last as I pushed her. "Okay," I answered. I grabbed a duffel bag, stuffed some clothes inside, and she started crying since I was truly leaving. I was crying too. My son is distracted with computer games, so he's good. When I kiss him and tell him I'm going to spend a short time at his uncle's, I bailed. I tell her I'll be back in the morning for my stuff. When I arrive at about 6 a.m. the next morning, I take trash bags right away and head straight into our bedroom, bathroom, and closet to begin packing everything I own into them, tears flowing. She sits up in bed, staring at me. She probes me about what I'm doing, and I tell her she made her choice. She begins to wail. Though it breaks my heart, my wife is also wanted once more. Like a fool, I lie in bed with her, embrace her, and kiss her for half an hour. She has to come clean, I assure her. It doesn't have to be this way. Silence. Furious, I yelled at her that all of this was useless. I pack and inform her my father and brother are at a cafe 5 minutes away, waiting for my call to assist with the heavy stuff. It is 11 a.m. by now, and I have bagged everything. She wants us to tell our son. We go wake him and give him a farce of an explanation for poor communication. She says she would rather not see my family. She is embarrassed. Hence, I do not blame her. She brings our son shopping, and I can tell he's a little disoriented and bewildered. My dad and brother answer when I call. We took my 3 TVs and all the gadgets I had acquired to make our house smart. Naturally, I left my son all his great stuff. I love him, and none of this is his fault. She texts me not to go and to wait for her and our son before I head off. I'm waiting. She finds the place looking as though it had been looted. She advises me not to go and notes that our son, enraged, knocked over a display and expressed the desire that we could still be a family. I give her a look that says nothing nice, and then I tell her. Naturally, he does. I want to, but what the devil is she looking for? Once more with the "I don't know." I say remaining is pointless for me. She should notify her parents, as should they discover it from our kid, they would be enraged. The first week of October arrives next week. I attempt to keep our son on a routine. Some mornings I have to be at work early, so I show up for him, drive him to school, and make breakfast. On other mornings, I take him to see his grandparents. I load everything on her parents when they inquire about what's going on. She is sticking to her foolishness. Even though I tell them we should mend things, I'm not clear. Having learned to love and respect one another, her dad is angry and depressed for me. She is texting me about how she hates herself and finds it hard to believe she did all this. She is still chatting to the other man all through. She even inquires as to if we may get back together. I tell her she knows what she has to do if she wants me back. During the week, I pick up my son after practice and head home. I love him, thus I consent when he wants to show me something. We spent 1 hour in his room. She's a wreck when I walk out to the living room. She approaches me closely and wants me to sit down with her, encircling me with arms. I almost give in, but I get up and tell her I'm not doing this if she's still chatting to or involved with this man. She claims she cut it off, hence I sit down and hug her. We even gently kiss, and I touch her. The phone then rings, a new ringtone, and I know she is panicking inside from her end. He has been phoning all day. I asked her to show me she stopped it and stare her in the eyes. She starts to cry in objects. She understands what she has to do if she wants me. I remind her once more. I'm still returning throughout the week to pick up my son from school and even cooking meals to store in the refrigerator. She is not doing laundry. I have to push myself not to do it for her, but I find my son smells from not washing, and his blankets are dirty. Her neglect of him requires me to chastise her. Her friends wanted to take her to the Renaissance Fair that weekend, and I find it amazing how she is acting as if everything is good. She asks whether I might spend a few hours watching our son. I want time with him, therefore I say yes, but even I know I'm not really ready for that. I agree otherwise as well. For additional lads walk out and get in my car when I show up after work to fetch him up from his friend's house, probably a sleepover. Not at him, but at her, I am enraged. She understands from my call that I would be leaving should she not return. She is behaving all pissy about it, and it takes 3 hours to return. She has the arrogance to argue that spending her birthday with pals shouldn't cause her guilt. She took advantage, and this is never going to happen again. She should feel horrible given all that is going on. Weeping, she asks, "What? Am I only supposed to be a mother?" I don't say anything about that either, but god damn it, yes. You picked this before I even entered the scene. We chat a little longer, and she even invites me to stay, to sleep in the same bed and be close. I turn it down and head off. My son strikes me as depressed. Even though it's taxing both financially and emotionally, I keep seeing him, since now I'm just 45 minutes away. Her parents just know what I've told them since she is avoiding them too. This is October 25th, the birthday of my ex. Things have been strange. I am shamefully performing the pick-me dance. Monday here, and I'm sending nice video greetings, but she seems apathetic about it. I start with a little present, working my way up. Then I go in the morning to look after our son, drive him to school, and then I do what I always do on her birthday week. I cleaned off a picture of the three of us at a pumpkin patch when we first got acquainted. It's a lovely image. I developed this itching inside me just before leaving, though I had no idea what set me off. I started looking about, opening a fresh shoe box. I discovered a new vibrator, a new dildo, and new butt plugs within. When I left, I had tossed every toy we owned. She preserved the container as well, and the postmarks date the day I left. Even a gift note including the man's name. Then I found a note tucked within the shoe box. It came from a woman, but her last name matched that of the AP's other gift note. Opening it, I came upon a picture of a family, 2 small boys, a baby, a dog, a guy, and a lady. Along with it was a letter informing my ex that she might retain the AP, but had wrecked her marriage. The woman clarified that she had learned about him from the toys he had sent. I snapped pictures and went right to her parents to show what I had discovered. Get a lawyer, get all my ducks in a row, and then file, her dad advised me. Same counsel many of you had given me. That same day, I did that. When it arrived a few days later, I handed her the paperwork. We sat on it for months. We attended soccer matches, had a few private evenings, but I wouldn't dare sleep with her, even though the chance presented itself. At one soccer game, she eventually observed that I wasn't really at my best. I prodded till she said she was seeing someone. That following week, I turned in every file. We seem caught up right now. Update 6. I returned to the same vacation location I visited last summer in order to snowboard. Just me out here. This was my first true adventure. Wow. I never made the trip to serve as a kind of diversion or anything else. I visited the slopes 10 years ago and performed rather well. I can't describe how emotionally satisfying it is to be without the drag of my ex-wife, who hated everything outdoors, let alone snow or cold. Snowboarding has always made me happy. I was thumbing my ring finger, trying to spin the long-gone ring, as I strolled throughout the city. Though we had been separated almost 2 years ago, seeing couples engage in Valentine's Day activities somewhat weighs on my heart. It's strange. I suppose I miss having the ring there, especially what the ring ought to have symbolized. Ultimately, though, with my ex, it was only a lump of metal and a false promise. I guess I'm simply reflecting, but I can't describe how quite dreamy this has been. After hurting so terribly, the happiness, enthusiasm, laughing, and foolishness that have permeated my life seem amazing. Hell, I'm sore and in pain beyond what I can recall from the last time I went snowboarding. But this ache is one I have totally missed. For those of you who are struggling, however cliched as it seems, it does indeed get better with time. Spend some time grieving and hurting, then go forward. Improve yourself for yourself. I appreciate everyone being there and listening. Update 7. The divorce occurred 2 years ago this month. The divorce was finalized. As the title suggests, The dreams are resurfacing. Strange seems to be the situation. Dreaming, we find ourselves at a house I have never seen before. She begs me to accompany her upstairs. We both are naked. We arrive upstairs to what looks to be our room, and she looks me up and down, giving me that smile I remember and liked, then says, "Hi." I have nowhere to start. She walks up, puts her hands in mine, and all I can say back is, "Hi." She presses her body into mine, and I encircle her in my arms. Her beautiful skin and warmth really speak to me. She smells like her shampoo even now. Actually, I'm pleased my dog woke me up seconds later. This is my second dream for this month. Not since last November. Not seen my ex in months. Feeling such things is strange, more of a what the heck kind of emotion. One reason all of this is happening could be because I recently started building a house on my own. I guess I'm just sort of airing out my mind. Today feels odd. My warmest wishes go out to those of you hurting. Update 8. I met with my son yesterday in great anticipation. Since his last birthday, I had not heard anything significant from him. It has been killing me again. Though I understand how teenagers behave, and I'm sure he has a lot on his plate with his middle school to high school change. His mother's obnoxious boyfriend is also a factor, to be honest. When he at last picked up the phone, I got rather happy. Our chat was nice. It took a moment of me telling him what I'd been up to, building a house, our corgi getting older, and as always, our love of video games, to pull him out of his shell. High ranking in Rocket League, he has been invited to a competition including pros, scheduled for Twitch broadcast. I really am thrilled for him. We should keep chatting. He promises to email me the link. From his now totally different voice, I take it as a little triumph that he still thinks of me as dad. I am flattered and happy. My heart started feeling it once more a few hours after the afterglow of our conversation. It was more of a dull ache, just aching deep down within me. It hurt and bothered me enough to cause me to hardly sleep last night. Seeing my attitude, my father asked what was bothering me. I first found it difficult to actually put it into words, but the second time he asked, it came naturally. The weight and suffering still exist. Even if I'm completely happy when I have my son and can still be a part of his life in any manner he chooses. It's enough to keep my head spinning over why at this point. I realize the cause has no bearing on anything or would provide comfort. Everything is done and accomplished. However, even 2 years down the road, it is still fresh and painful. My pride in being my son's dad and my emotions of love and admiration for him are so entwined with the love I had for my ex, which now simply acts as a painful reminder every time I see him. Though I can't say I know what you're feeling coming from this side of your situation, you may need to ask yourself if the pain and suffering are worth it for your mental health and general well-being. My father, a cheater in his own time, but someone who makes amends and keeps on doing so, told me. Though you love him with all your being, and the time you spend brings enormous delight, it follows days of rehabilitation for you. I am not advising you to give up on him. As if it were me trying to be there for you, I would never stop. Perhaps you should nonetheless let go of everything. You gave all you have. I haven't seen you this joyful in a long time. Still, I can see the toll it takes on you. Your emotions divided between your love for your son and the anguish you obviously still have from how you were deceived. I understand he's acting as a father, seeing obvious suffering on my face while his son battles. He would never want it lastingly. Given the lengths of his military training, which trained him to detach himself and view events from several angles, I take it as his attempt to provide wise guidance. He does not intend for me to just vanish from my son's life, I'm sure. Maybe he only wants me to stay outside of it all. Perhaps he only wants to spare me the suffering still afflicting my heart, just letting my ideas float about. My best wishes extend to everyone suffering right now, particularly to those in healing. Remain strong and keep cheerful. Comments. OP, your first response and attitude to him calling were exactly perfect for a teen, especially. This is all quite challenging ground to walk. Talk not of his mother, her partner, or their domestic situation. Create an oasis out of yourself and your relationship with your son. Be in his life a non-judging lighthouse. Should the matter come up, avoid pledging yourself to a position. Still, keep your distance and objectivity. Find out his short-term bucket list. Perhaps you two might handle a few of those jointly. Luck. I agree absolutely, and thank you. Out of our conversations, I make sure to keep any reference to his home situation or anything about his mother away. I concentrate on talking about just him and me and avoid passing opinions. Though it feels like negotiating in the dark, I am trying to assist him with a list. That's the intensity of my affection. I won't give up on him. Thank you for the guidance. I will keep making sure that what we share is a refuge.